Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Because It's Necessary Health and Wellness Forum, Singles Forum 2022. So, how are you doing, Tyra?
I'm doing good. How about you?
That's good. Tyra is our co-host this week, so we'll be co-hosting. Um, she'll be co-hosting with us, with me, and I'm very excited about this. So, the whole purpose and of the Because It's Necessary Health and Wellness Forum is to bring awareness or to make aware of just major issues that we don't want to discuss, but need to discuss, issues that we most definitely need to talk about. So tonight, we're shedding light on being single and content. This week, we'll be discussing being single, divorced, and widow. And on the final night, we'll all be coming together. So we're in for a great treat. We have some awesome panelists that will be a part as well. But first of all, will you please like, share this live, and invite someone to be a part, invite someone to join, and you will be receiving a lot of great information this week. What do you think about that, Tyra?
Yeah, it's gonna be an awesome night on this night, y'all. These two people that we have on here, they are going to be honest and transparent.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So if
Yeah,
you come on here thinking that you finna be preached, you still gonna be preached. But it's gonna be in a way where you can understand and relate to one another, and
right.
um, and have some understanding when it's done. But I do want y'all to know that if there are some questions that you do want to ask our guest, please put them in the comments. You know, because we're not afraid to answer questions. And sometimes people may have something that they may want to ask. You can put them in the comments, and I will make sure that they get the opportunity to answer those questions. Also, if you have any suggestions or comments, you can also put those in the comments as well. Don't be afraid to say what your heart may want to say while we're in this talk forum.
Right. And also, I do want to share that if you hear a comment or something that just stands out from us, please put the quote on your Facebook page and hashtag BIN 22. So we'll most definitely know. And I know tonight for sure that a lot will stand out. A lot will, will come out to the forefront basically about being single and content. And we're just here for a great dialogue tonight.
Yeah. So before we do introduce the guest tonight, you know how Candace loved to put quotes on her Facebook page. We wanted to start off with a discussion about a quote as well, which is pertaining to what we're going to be talking about tonight. And
Mhm.
that quote is: "Single is no longer a lack of options, but a choice to refuse to let your life be defined by your relationship status, but to live every day happily and let your ever after work itself out."
Mm.
Because sometimes when people who are single, they get this little these messages, mixed messages that single is not happy, and really to be honest, that's a stigma. It's a myth. It doesn't. When you are single, it doesn't mean that you are not happy. That you may not be living your happy life, and really to be honest, the ever after it can be happening while you're single.
Mm.
We have so many stories and cartoons and romance movies and all that where they be talking about your happily ever after when you meet someone. How come that happily ever after cannot be within you? Because
Mhm.
when you meet someone, you ain't got to look for that person to be your all in all or to fill a void for you because you already have that before you meet them. You
Right.
know, that's if that's what you want to do, if you want to be married. But we have got to stop teaching people or our youngins that, you're only happy if you meet somebody.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. Your happily can be right here every day. because
Yeah.
there is a lot to be happy about, even
Right.
when you're single, you know.
Yeah, and I most certainly agree, Tyra. Like your happiness is found in more than looking for him, but so to say, is found in things that make you happy, or things that that is pleasing to you to do that, which is finding that that happiness, but it's not always in finding that man,
Or
so
that woman.
or that woman. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get ready to bring on our guests on tonight.
All right. So I'm going to introduce our first panelist, and I start with Miss Shauna Tillman. She is from Grenada, Mississippi, and she is the founder and CEO of Operation I Am, an organization that is designed to help individuals share their stories anonymously. She is a proud alumni from Mississippi State University, where she received her bachelor's degree in education psychology. She is a graduate student from Belhaven University, where she received her master's in public administrations. Shauna is currently attending Mississippi State University, where she is working on her doctoral degree in public policy and administrations. Shauna is also a certified life coach and has a desire to help in her community and giving people a voice. Shauna's primary mission is to be the change that she wants to see in the world. Everybody, welcome Miss Shauna Tillman tonight. Hi.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. We're excited to have you on tonight.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yay.
Well, so we also have our male perspective coming up.
Yes. Our male perspective is Captain Courtney Grace. Captain Courtney L. Grace serves as a logistic officer for the 358th Civil Affairs Brigade. In this capacity, he oversees the logistic operations for over 21 down trace units with over 980 soldiers and civilians. Captain Grace earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Industrial Technology from Mississippi State University. In his civil capacity, Captain Grace serves as a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP. Without further ado, our next panelist is Courtney Grace, Captain Courtney Grace, and thank you for serving the United States of America.
Thank you, Miss Tyra. Thank you, Miss Candace, for having me. Also, welcome Miss Shauna. Thank you for coming on board with me.
We're gonna have a good talk tonight.
Yes, it's going to be real good.
All right, y'all. So let's pop it off with our first question for tonight. And we talk about how do you feel about the status title single, and do you think it defines you? So whoever want to go first.
Yes.
Well, I'll guess I go first because this question had me up all night. So the title single. Okay, so I'm basically in a relationship, but I'm not married. So technically I'm single, right? Mm-hmm. But just being a woman and then just being a Black woman, they try to give you this title that you're not fulfilled just because you're single, especially at my age, because I chose to focus on my degree first. And then I'm going to think about marriage and kids and the picket fix and all that good stuff later. So I think it's definitely a struggle to understand, even though Black women have this stigma of we want to be independent and we really don't want a relationship. And that's not the honest truth. We do. We just want to focus on other things first. That we have to find a way to make it okay for ourselves. because I can admit that I've struggled with feeling like I'm not fulfilled because society tells me I'm not fulfilled because I don't have a husband on my arm, and that's not the case. So sometimes I really have to sit there and think like, girl, you are getting a PhD, and not a lot of people are doing that, and not a lot of people want to do that, and that's an accomplishment by itself, just because you don't have the husband and the kids. So at that point, I think when we talk about single, it's basically, I take it as, how do I feel at the moment, and how do I feel with my life? And if I feel complete and I feel satisfied, then that's all that should matter.
That's a good way to start. I think she just broke some shells. That's yeah, I totally agree with that, because the stigma that people place and put on us, that's the part that we're breaking those cycles, in a sense, to say that it's okay to be single and get my degree. It's okay to be single to go to school. It's okay to be single to still accomplish the things that I want to accomplish in life.
That is definitely true. And it's sad because, when women go to college, they say, are you getting your degree or are you getting your MRS degree? And I'm like, I'm here for the money. I ain't studying the man at the moment.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's for the most part that, I guess with me though, but I've been single. I don't even put a year span on it now, because I'm in that place that I'm like, okay, I'm fine if I do, I'm fine if I don't, but I just want to accomplish things in my life and just be, in a sense, happy, content in the place that I am today, without the force of saying, okay, yeah, you're gonna get married, you're gonna get a husband, this and that. Nope. It's just that of getting in that, being, content in the place that I am. So I most definitely understand.
Yep.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Grace?
Well, that's an interesting question. From the male perspective, anytime a man says that he's single, most of the time the status quo is that he's out here sowing his wild oats. He's out here, dogging women. He's doing this. He's living his best life, as the song defines it. But 9 times out of 10, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, everybody has a past. We're not here to judge everybody, and everybody must define themselves by the mistakes that they make. And that's, that's understandable in life. But when it comes to single, the title single, from the understanding, this is the time where you should be making yourself better for the person that is supposed to be in your life. From a man's perspective, I'm supposed to make sure that I have a job. I'm supposed to make sure that I have multiple cars, insurance, things like that. I have to make sure that I'm physically fit. I have to make sure that I have a house over my head. I have to, as a man, make sure that I operate, and I'm not trying to go to the Bible here. I'm trying to keep it just simple with folks, but the Genesis 2 man, because in Genesis 2, my studies and my revelations that I've had, the man had everything before the woman came. He had a job, he had a place to stay. Yeah, he didn't have a car, but that was before our times. But he had everything he needed to sustain for himself and build for himself, so that when it was time for the woman to come into his life, then Eve had everything she needed. All she had to do was just make him better. Make him better physically, make him better emotionally, spiritually, things like that, because he was able to be that provider. He was able to be that nurturer. He was able to be that over help, So at this time, how do I feel about the status title single? It doesn't necessarily define me, because, I understand where I'm at in life. I understand that, I have to go against the status quo of what most men are today. You look at most men, they're not involved. Not most men, some men, they're not involved. They're not trying to go out and do positive things. They're trying to have the next record album. They're trying to be the next basketball player. They're trying to go through great lengths. to try to make something instead of doing the necessary work to prepare themselves for adulthood. And it's no strike of their own against them. I'm not bashing anybody by any means, but the time of being single for a man is a time of preparation so that when that woman does come into your life, you have everything that she needs. And to look from another perspective of it, being single, I look at it as I have that namesake that I have to protect. I have to protect the last name Grace.
Yeah.
I cannot disappoint my parents. I cannot disappoint, the people who look up to me. This is the time for me to respect and protect my namesake. But I understand that being single is only for a moment, just as being married is for the next moment in life. And so once you understand that, once you understand that single isn't even a title, and you understand that it's preparing you for much bigger things in life, then you don't sit there and think about it as a title, or something that defines you. You think about it as a stepping stone to the desire for marriage, if you desire marriage, the desire for companionship, the desire to have somebody there in your life, things like that. So for me as a man, and I'm speaking for myself, no, it doesn't define me. It's just preparation time.
Yeah, I do want to say that, it's also used as a relationship status. People are always asking the question, are you in a relationship, or what's your relationship status, or whatever. And when you gonna get married, have you got a man yet? You got a woman yet, or whatever? That relationship status where people just say, no, I'm just single. I think we need to add an adjective in front of single whenever somebody asks you that question. If they want to know your relationship status, and if you want to tell them, because you really don't have to tell people, if you're with someone or not. But, it's time out for all these people looking at single people as if something is wrong with them. How come you ain't with someone yet? Because we don't really have to be with anybody right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't be with anybody right now. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come because it's the scripture in the Bible that says everything is made beautiful in God's time. So since everything is made beautiful in God's time, what I'm rushing it for? What are we rushing it for? Because that was my mindset when I was single. That why people feel like I have to be in a certain status by a certain age.
Yeah.
I don't have to be, because God said in His time, I am going to have what I need.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how it happened. But anytime people want to know your relationship status, put an adjective behind it. Because even now when people ask me about what's my relationship status, I say, babe, I'm happily married. I'm joyfully married. I'm rejoicing married. Whatever. Because we need to let people know that it's okay to be single. It's okay to be happy. It's why you're single, And yes, they got the little other stigmas along with it where they say, you by yourself, so how you getting, whatever. Y'all know I'm talking about on the little set side, but we're gonna get to that part because I do have that was gonna be a question, because people do tend to define single along with loneliness. I need to have somebody warm in the bed with me at night, these type of conversations that people have. But who to say that my bed is not warm already?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And I think that's the importance of like knowing yourself and loving yourself. Because before I got in a relationship, I still take myself on dates now, but I would like take myself on a date. I would find out what I liked and what I didn't like. So when I did get in that relationship, I'm like, these are the ground rules. This is what I'm going to tolerate. This is what I'm not going to tolerate, because I know who I am and I know whose I am. So this is what you get. Either take it or leave it and go that way. And I think that's something that people have to do, is understand who you are and then whose you are, and then build from there. I think that's really important.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the time to most definitely make the mistakes in life. This is the time to find out about yourself, what ticks you off, just things like that, This is the time where you look for the imperfections in you, so that you can work on the imperfections in you.
Yeah.
That way, when the right person comes and your spouse comes, you will have 80% of the working solution out of the way, and then your significant other comes in and they help round you out to be that well-rounded person. I call it the yin and the yang in a relationship.
Yeah.
So that does bring me to the next question. You know, how does being single affect you, and do you get now? So this is a personal question, y'all. So
Yeah, it is very personal.
do you two get lonely? And if that is the case, how do you deal with the loneliness?
Okay. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Oh no,
I'll go first.
Lady go
You
first.
go first.
I'll go first. You
I'm
want me?
gonna do the right thing.
Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I'll go first on this one. Do I get lonely? Yes. How do I deal with the loneliness? Do you want me to tell you how I deal with the loneliness? I get up and I pick up a dumbbell.
Damn.
That's how I deal. That's how I deal with the loneliness. I get up and I get that little workout in, and I'm all right. I mean, you know, that's the part. That's part of it. That's part.
Candy said she occupying their body and their mind.
I get up, you know, I be like, God, thank you for waking me up. Okay. But then I come on in here and deal with I deal with the loneliness by picking up the dumbbell. I mean, I work out. But honestly, that's how I deal with a lot of stuff. So but honestly, I haven't always picked up the dumbbell. Let's just be real. I haven't always picked up a dumbbell in my loneliness. Okay. Sometimes I done went and got a dumbbell. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we setting the record straight, right? So, you know, honestly, I didn't pick up a dumbbell. I went and got the dumbbell. So that dumbbell wasn't working for me. So, and that's it. You know, I mean, if just it all makes sense. But the thing is you have how I dealt with loneliness is in the past, I didn't deal with the loneliness, and I didn't deal with it correctly because I thought that if I had been doing that part, knowing it was wrong, that's not how it helped me. It only made things worse. So I had to find other ways other than getting help and learning how to occupy my body and my mind. You know, working out helps out a lot of things. So now I pick up I don't go get a dumbbell. I pick up my dumbbell, and that helps me make it through.
Yeah.
That's my push through. So, hey, who's next?
I can piggyback off you because I picked up a few dumbbells myself. But at that time, like just reflecting on what you were saying and just thinking about my own experience, I was like, those were the times where God was telling me to be still and wait. And I was being disobedient. He was like, all right, I'm going to show you. You got to deal with this foolishness until you get it right. And that's exactly what happened. Just because my friends were dating, they had relationships, so I wanted one too. So I just hopped in one and it was horrible. But now, like even during my time of just figuring out who I was and just dating myself and loving myself, being lonely, like not being lonely, but just being alone, I love my space. Like, even though I'm in a relationship, I see my spouse every once a month, every other weekend. But like when Sunday hit, I'm like, sir, you gotta go. Like I'm ready to be by myself. I'm gonna go home. Cause I fell in love with myself to the point where now I have to have that space.
Shauna, still talking?
Somebody trying to call Miss Shauna.
Oh yeah. You got a phone?
I had to decline it. I was done.
It's okay. But you know what? That's true. Before Courtney comes in, I totally agree because, you know, when your space is your space, like that's it. So you know, I mean, and I love my space. I actually embrace the space that I'm in. But I had to learn. Like that's key point. Like I had to learn how to embrace my space because at one point I wasn't embracing my space because instead I was just bringing in dumbbells. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I need to call a woman a dumbbell or not. I don't know how y'all might quite take that. So just gonna, I'm just gonna, you know what? I ain't gonna call them anything because that might trouble some folks. So I ain't gonna call them a
Yeah.
dumbbell.
I'll
But
just say I didn't mean to, you know, refer men
no,
to
no. You were just being honest. So no, you perfectly fine. But I mean, you know, I'm human just like anybody else. I mean, it would be completely asinine for me to say that I don't get lonely. I mean, you know, I'm doing well for myself. You know, I've been in the military for 23 years. You know, I'm a DJ on the side. I'm a pretty well known DJ in the South, you know, expanding myself. People know me. You know, I go out, I keep myself up. I'm always working out. It would be asinine to say that, you know, I don't get lonely, you know, because you know, at this point in my life, I think that I have enough to be dangerous enough to try to snatch somebody up, you know, but at this at this time, you know, I know at this present moment that God has not prepared me fully for that person to come in, or else they would have been there by now. So do I get lonely? Yes. I mean, excuse me. It's always good to, you know, be able to go out, enjoy somebody, you know, interact with somebody, establish things, you know, from a spiritual standpoint. God designed us to interact with each other. Look at how he did his ministry. I mean, you know, yes, he had times to where he stealed away and he prepared, you know, to go back out. But at the same time, the majority of Jesus's ministry was interacting with people, you know, and so we were designed to be interacted. I don't think that we are designed to be by ourselves. You know, I think it's a choice to be by yourself for your whole life, you know, for whatever reasons, you know, traumatic, you know, choice, whatever. But I don't think we are designed to be without somebody, you know. But at the same time, you know, when you see others so happy, when you see other, you know, I use the perfect example. I saw somebody and I was like, man, how in the world did you even get somebody, man? You ain't even got no, you ain't even got nothing. You know, and I'm just being transparent here. You know, I mean, you're looking at folks that you couldn't even believe, and they got somebody, and man, they loving on them, and man, they happy, and you looking at yourself like, man, what am I doing wrong? You know, that's just the human nature of us.
Yes, it
But,
is.
you know, but you know, and even with that human nature, you know, you looking at others and their happiness, you know, you may have that jealousy, that anger, you know, things like that. But that's just being human nature. So how do I counter that? I mean, I would love to be around somebody to establish a friendship, have fun with things like that. But in knowing myself, and again, we keep going back to the common theme of knowing ourselves. Miss Shauna has said it, Tyra said it, Candace has said it. You know, we have to know ourselves before we have somebody else to afford the opportunity to know us. You know, in the moments that you're enjoying yourself, you you have to find things to occupy your time, you know, so that you don't have that idle time to dwell on. You know, it's been plenty of times, you know, I get up in the middle of the night. You know, it was at one point in time, years on top of years ago, I dealt with porn. You know, that's just the man's go-to. And you know, I'm not afraid to be transparent about it because hey, everybody has skeletons.
Right.
I'm just willing to talk about my skeleton, you know, because hey, it doesn't make or break me. So I mean, you know, I that was an outlet for me to deal with porn, and you know, at that point, you know, it got to the point to where it was almost disturbing, you know, and it was almost to the point to where you know it was affecting my body, and people don't understand the dynamics of what porn does, but that's not the conversation we're on. But I mean, that's what I dealt with. So I had to replace it with positive things. I'm a DJ. I've been DJing for a while. I play in rec leagues. I love playing ball. I love playing softball, basketball, softball, bowling league, and I do golf. It's just a military thing, the golf. But find things that you enjoy to do in life. Whatever you like, some may like hiking, some may like, biking or whatever. Find things that takes your mind off of it, even at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's been plenty of times, because we all have those urges at 2:33 in the morning. Candace just said it. She done had the urges, and then she done started making them phone calls. We all have those urges. Yeah. It's just natural. But in the midst of it, if I cannot make myself go back to sleep, I just go to my DJ, to my man cave, and I just play music and DJ, perfect my skill at DJing. That's just things that, I do to find myself. I don't give myself the opportunity to fall in those traps, because I don't want to go back to looking at porn at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning again, because porn takes up a lot of your time. And again, I'm not afraid to talk about it. That's something I've dealt and I've conquered with. But find something that positively takes up your time and watch how you grow. And when you grow into it, man, you that significant other will come along. You will be amazed that the amount of things that you're doing for yourself and how it makes you a better person for that next person to come along. So yeah, we all get lonely. I just can't go get that person that Candace called a dumbbell.
You mean that dumbbell?
Yeah, but look, on a serious note, and I say this a lot. You're right. We had a lot of dumbbells in our life, but on a seriously, like, and what I say all the time is conversation breeds healing. You sharing that moment of what you went through dealing with pornography, like that's straight. It'll touch somebody tonight, because of a lot of people deal with it private. A lot of people deal with certain issues privately, but they make the choice to not want to talk about it.
Right.
And I believe that if we do talk about it, then of course the freedom, will take place from that. So I just wanted to share that. And that is true, that, when you share it, it helps a lot of people, and we have, just to piggyback off what Courtney said, that we have skeletons in our closet. So therefore, there are things that we have to talk about. There are things that, of course, heal through, get the help that you need, because of course, and I will say it's okay to have a therapist. All right, because there are moments that we'll need that therapist to go and talk to, okay, and dealing with those mainline issues that we feel like that we don't need to go see a therapist. That's really when we need to go see one. So I just thought I'd put that out there, that those main issues that the issues that need to be dealt with privately. Eventually you'll have that freedom to talk about it openly, but healing. Conversations breed healing. This is how we heal. So, hey, this is good tonight. What do you
think? It is. And I'm glad you brought that up, Candace, because a lot of people get into a relationship with those issues, looking at porn or finding phone calls that they can get the phone session. There's many ways to try to occupy their time unhealthy in ways that, that is not beneficial to you or is even honored in God's eyes. So there's ways that we do those things because we're dealing with loneliness. But you do have to deal with it. You have to talk about it. You do, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to go and cry out to somebody and say, Lord, I can't handle this, because loneliness is really not a good feeling. It's not. And that's why I have put the word loneliness, because it is a psychological term. We be thinking that because it is okay to be by yourself. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to have some solitude, because Jesus even had solitude. But when it gets to the point where you are dealing with loneliness, you'll find yourself making some decisions that are not wise and that will not be healthy for you or even the people that are around you, because you can get depressed, you can get stressed out, you can go out there and meet the wrong person and be thinking that, oh, this person is going to help me deal with my loneliness, but they may be the wrong person that you're hanging around with. They
Yeah.
may be a toxic person. They may be a dysfunctional person. You don't know. You don't know what type of baggage that they are dealing with either. So
Right.
it's best, just like Shauna and Mr. Grace was saying, it's best to get to know yourself while you're in your lonesome, because God can deal with us when we're by ourselves. We ain't got to be putting off baggage on other people or even
Mm.
the person who you say that you're dating, because it's not fair to them. And it's not fair for that person to be doing it to us either.
Mm-hmm.
So, you do want to be mentally, socially, emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically, all of that well before you meet someone, you know, because we don't need the extra bagginess when you get with someone. And it's okay. Hey, if you're a womanizer, if you're a person that loves sex, if you're a person that is addicted to pornography, or you're a person that's even addicted to sex, or you have any type of sexual issues, it's okay to go talk to a therapist about those issues, because
Right.
you can get addicted and you can be walking around here occupying all your time with dealing with those things. And when you do meet someone, guess what? You bringing on the baggage onto somebody else. And that person gonna be looking at you like, wait a minute, am I enough? Am I not enough? You gotta look at pornography too.
Mm.
They're gonna be thinking that they the problem, and really they are not.
Right.
You're the one with the issue. You're the one with
Mm-hmm.
the problem. Just go deal with it. It's okay. It's okay to. There are a lot of people out here who have sexual problems. Come on now, we
Yeah.
got to walk around here like we have it all together when we really don't. It's okay.
And I think that's
I
the
wouldn't say
issue.
everybody got skeletons.
Mm.
No, that's so right, Lorraine. And some of those bones still got meat on them. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Transparency brings freedom. Natasha said this is a great topic for conversation. It's okay to talk about it for sure.
Yeah. I think Shauna was getting ready to say something.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I think that's an issue, especially in the Black community, that we have to have it all together. So when we are dealing with something, we don't know how to deal with it. I'm not sure if it's just generational mental pride or what, but when something's going on, we feel like we can't talk about it. We got to keep it in the house. And then if you bring up the word therapist, it seems like you're bringing up the boogeyman. Everybody jumps and runs away, and it's not the case.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if God put doctors on this earth, if God put teachers on this earth, God put therapists on this earth, and the therapist is just a midway point just to get to God. Because sometimes God will work through your therapist and just work it on out. Shout out to my therapist, because she be dropping gems in our sessions that I definitely be needing when we be having our conversation.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to my therapist too.
And that's one of the biggest issues for us and as men in the community too, because men, it's so bred that men can't have emotions. We're supposed to be tough at all times. We can't have feelings. We're just supposed to just be a man. And that's why I'm such an advocate for it, especially when I was in command of the 164 soldiers that I had. I was just such an advocate for the men to, hey man, if you just got something to come talk to me about, just come talk to me about it. Because and I didn't mind, I didn't share everything in my closet as as I said, but I was able to identify with what a lot of men are going through, because let's just face it, in today's society, we have to uplift men. And not taking nothing away from other races. I am not biased or racist in any way, but we have to uplift our Black men, because as you can see, when we don't uplift men, you see what happens in society. You hear about us in the news. Long gone are the days to where we are involved in men's lives. When growing up, it used to be men were involved with other men. Now all of a sudden, now it's frowned upon for a man to even have somebody to shrug upon, or shrug a shoulder on. It's frowned upon for a man to go to therapy. It's going to take away from my rep. It's going to take away from who I am, and
Wow.
that's just not the case. And once again, I go back to many years ago when I was dealing with pornography. I had to talk that thing out. I just couldn't wake up and say, because I tried it so many times, man, oh man, I done this, man. I can't look at porn no more, man. This is nasty. I can't do it. Man, it wasn't even 8 hours later, and I was right back in it again. And so you have to find somebody to talk to and let somebody be a sounding board for you. And it's good to have somebody that has a little bit of experience with them. I can't come to a 22-year-old guy and I'm 41, talking about, so man, how do I deal with porn? Because hey, when we was in our 20s, man, all types of thoughts were going through our heads in our 20s. Wow. And so, I have to go with somebody that has had a few experiences a little bit more than me at that time, to even just get it off my chest. And it takes courage to do that. And men lack courage these days to even go for the sake of embarrassment. And that's what's wrong with our community these days. We're too quick to embarrass somebody for their downfalls. And then next thing you know, on the military side, we're experiencing 22 a day. Wow. It is no possible way in the world I'm supposed to be hearing about suicides day in and day out. But it comes from, the standpoint of we're too embarrassed to express what affects us as a man, because it's not a good look for a man. And again, that ties into loneliness for a man, because hey, when we get lonely, man, we going out to the club, man, we going out to the bar, man, we gonna put on our flyers gear. I'm just telling you some of the things I used to do. Just like Candace, hey, I'm going out to the bar, hey man, I'm stalking and I'm chicken hawking. I'm trying to see who can I go home with for that night. And it comes to a point to where that gets old. And that comes to a point to where, you still find yourself lonely, even after that few minutes, that 30 minutes, that hour worth of pleasure. They're going back to their place. You're back at your place. Now your bed's still cold. And now you like, man, I done this. I done wasted $200, $300, $400, $500. Man, I done this, man, I done that. And I still ain't got nothing. Oh my God, man. So, as men, we as women, and I think it'll come better from women, we have to encourage our men to not be afraid to express themselves, whether it's with their significant other, whether it's with another man, whether it's with the pastor, whether it's with the first lady, what have you. We have to encourage and uplift our men, because our men need it, because men are not able to express themselves, especially when it comes to loneliness. Because I'm more than quite sure, and we've all been there, men get real lonely, and you already know what happens when a man gets lonely. He makes mistakes. There's pregnancies that come up, there's babies, then there's the thoughts of not taking care of your baby, isolating yourself away, and then you become a deadbeat parent. I mean, that's just one rabbit hole to go down. But loneliness can breed so much temptation that a person cannot be ready to take upon. You think about that 22-year-old person, that just got a female pregnant. How can you deal with that at 22 years old? And the list goes on, and that's just some of the things that happen. So we just have to make sure that we uplift our men.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have to protect our Black women. I'm just gonna throw that out there. We have to protect our Black women. We'll have a conversation later.
Yeah, that's another thing. I can talk about that all day, and I can tell you, oh my God.
Yeah.
Not the conversation right now.
We have to protect our women at all costs.
We have to.
Yeah.
All right, y'all
Man.
ready for the next question?
Yes. This is good.
It is. I hope y'all reading the comments um, in here as well, because I've been trying to put them out there so that y'all can read them and see them. The
Yeah, I
next
think
question is, are you content being single?
I can go with that one. I stated earlier that I was happy at the stage that I'm at. That has definitely been a journey. Especially being a fresh 30-year-old and seeing all my friends either having babies or getting married. That can get you sometimes because I'm like, dang, when it's gonna be my turn? And then I think about it. I'm like, wait, I don't want that right now. I don't want no man in my space. I don't want to feel like I gotta cook for somebody else because I am an Olivia Pope kind of girl. I do popcorn for dinner because I don't be feeling like cooking. That's just me. But just thinking about it and then just remember where I'm at this stage, I'm like, that's not what I want, and I don't want to rush it because society is telling me that's what I need to do. And that's definitely been a struggle, just trying to not go with a timeline and not trying to do what everybody else doing and stand on my own path and just listening to God at the moment. So right now I am perfectly content with being single.
Yeah. Am I content being single? Yes and no, but yes for the most part because hey, I mean, I see what's out there in today's society in today's time. I can't. I would be a fool to sit up and say yes, God is keeping me single, and I'm just preparing myself. No, that yes, that's the truth. But you know, you look at what's going on out there in today's society, and you're just like, nah, I just rather stay over here on this single side and just wait, because people are so quick to just want to have somebody. People
yeah.
are just so quick to just want to be seen with somebody and have something to where they make all types of mistakes by getting with that wrong person. And
Mm.
again, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect. And I totally understand that. But a lot of the times, if we were to take a little bit of more time to ourselves versus just trying to have somebody, you would be amazed at how quick somebody would just pop up in your life.
Mm.
And it. And again, to each his own, and to each in God's timing. But again, I go back to this is the time where we have to make sure that we're preparing ourselves for that person. But am I content being single? I am, but at the same time, I would be remiss to say that I'm not ready for that next. That I'm ready for that next level.
Mhm.
I'm ready to try to prepare with something. I'm ready to build with somebody. I'm ready for somebody to accept what I have, and then for me to accept that. And I'm ready
Mhm.
for somebody to meet me, with the same attributes that I have. Not necessarily financial, because just because I'm doing well in life, they it's stipulations to that. Now, that'll start a whole argument, but they have to be able to meet me where I'm meeting them at, and so, it's I know it's somebody out there. It's just a timing piece, and we have to understand if we are to say that who we are in Christ, we have to understand that God did everything in timing. Seed time and harvest. If you keep watering yourself enough, you're gonna come out on top to where somebody's gonna be ready to pick the beautiful flower that you are. And so this is the time now to where, hey, I'm making sure that somebody's going to see me to pick the beautiful flower that I am,
Mm.
so that I can go into the flower plot with them and we can grow,
Yeah.
away from everything else. And so, um, for the most part, I am, but again, no, because hey, I'm ready just like the next person is.
Well, I need to kind of piggyback off that because I can't answer the question. Oftentimes I've gotten this question a lot in my lifetime, like seriously, literally. And my The place that I am in now, I have not always been. I have not always been content. For the most part, and talking about desperation, that's a whole nother subject, of course. But when you get desperate, you go after anything, or when you get desperate, you just go find. And I honestly became when I got to this point of being content was when I made the choice to do better for me. And when I started to take care of myself, so to say, that's when, of course, I learned a lot about myself that I didn't know. When I started working on me, I learned a lot about me that I didn't know. I found things about myself. I learned things about myself that I didn't know before I started taking care of myself. So that whole part of being content has a lot to do with that as far as being content. But to answer the question, am I content? The place that I am now, I'm content where I am, but I'm also when God puts me in that position to bless me, then okay. Yeah. So but but as of now, I'm content, man. I'm okay. Like I'm fine, you know. And yeah, like I'm fine. There's just, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm. And there's some comments up in here. Um, Being single isn't bad. Once you are content and focused on self care and inner healing, then your mate will come along.
Mm,
And Tasha said that I avoid a lot of social gatherings, um, that involve couples, but she's content most of the time, but she admit that she does desire companionship, but she's okay waiting.
mhm.
Because there's a scripture in the Bible where it talks about where Paul was talking about be content in whatever circumstances you're in, whatever situation that you find yourself in, be
Right.
content. Because but I really do believe that has to do with being mindful of the things that you do have, and
Yeah.
not focusing on the things that you don't have, because the things that you don't have is really not more important than the things that you do have, and vice versa. Because it's okay to be without on some things, but we tend to look at people like there's something wrong with you when you're lacking something. But who says that there's a lack? You see what I'm saying? There is
Mhm.
no lack, baby, because there's a scripture in the Bible that says the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not lack anything. So you're not lacking anything. It's
Yeah.
just that you have to put the focus on what you do have and not what you don't have. Because you have some fulfillment in being single. You
Yeah.
have fulfillment in being married. You have fulfillment with being having kids and without kids. It goes on and it goes on. But you cannot get caught up on the things that you don't have. Because contentment, you do have to be okay waiting. It's okay to be waiting, but while you're waiting, get some healing, get some self care, and learn how to set boundaries, and learn a whole lot of stuff about yourself, and try to get rid of all this crap that you learned when you was young. People was inputting all this stuff in your head and in your heart that ain't even true. That's a good
Mm.
time to get rid of that stuff. And while you're doing that, sure enough, baby, unexpectedly, ain't that what happened to Ruth when she was just sitting out there
Yeah.
minding her own business? I'm just being honest. She wasn't thinking about being with somebody. She was out there just minding her own business.
Yeah. She was in the fields.
Okay. And
She
then
was she
unexpectedly,
was
somebody
working.
saw her.
Yeah.
She went back. And then the thing
Mhm.
about the only thing that was on her mind was taking care of Naomi. That was it.
And that was it.
That was it. She got occupied in taking care of somebody else. But of course, we also have to take care of ourselves too, because we do tend to do that. We do tend to be taking care of other people before ourselves. But you really do have to do both. Take care of yourself and others. And in the midst of it, hey, your Boaz and what's that woman name with a B? Bunda will come along.
Yeah.
She'll come along. I'm just saying.
But Tara, I must agree with that before you go on to the next question that being occupied, that matters. And I honestly believe now that I look back, I believe this might be a word for somebody, but I believe God had to occupy me so I could get myself together.
Right.
I do believe this now, and I'm going back now that I look back. I believe God had to occupy me to get myself together, and it's most definitely, it's been a journey. But when I look back, I see the person that I am today, and I see, the flower that, Courtney was talking about. Like, this is real. Like, but I had to be occupied. So I had, and honestly, I had to become a full-time giver. In other words, so God could get my attention, I had to be pulled from a place where I was in, become a full-time caregiver, start taking care of my family. That He occupied my mind. Then I had to learn how to take care of myself. This is just an example, y'all, because I'm a living witness to it. He pulled me out and occupied me here so I could do what I need to get to the place that I am today.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Oh, this is some good stuff tonight, y'all.
Do you think Kristen should be on any dating app? Because we got a whole bunch of dating apps, y'all, and
Yes.
Tinder is the most common app that Christians be on. Don't ask me how I know.
You gotta
get a look.
Look, how you know? So Tinder's what?
Don't ask me how I know.
What'd you say about Tinder?
Look at
Look at it.
Okay, who will be the first one to answer this question?
I'm not going first.
To be honest, I don't do date. I've never done a dating app. I haven't even downloaded one to be curious. I honestly I don't know. That's been a hard one. But I am going to say this. My grandma said it, and my mama said it, my aunt said it all the time. God is not the author of confusion. So if you get on there and you're confused, you just need to log out and then do it the old-fashioned way. I don't know. I've never been on one, so I can't even tell you.
If you got to pay for it, that's the thing. That's the first
no. If I got to pay to look for a date, that's okay.
We'll pay. Yeah.
Like, hold up, y'all, because some people do meet their mate on the dating apps. If that happens, and that is a good person that you are with, and y'all are living your life in wonderful bliss, good. I would say that's good. But I'm just going to be honest, that doesn't necessarily mean that dating app would work for you. You know what I'm saying? You have to. I don't want to be leaving anybody out because some people get offended and they'll be like, "Oh well, I met my husband or I met my wife on whatever the name of the dating app is." I ain't gonna see
Tinder.
Look at Mr. Grace, whatever the app is. So they even got one that's called Plenty Fish. Mm-hmm. A lot of fish. Oh!
Tinder.
Okay, Mr. Grace, you can go ahead and tell us what you think.
Oh no, I'm just over here enjoying you talk. I mean, I'm just learning so many things tonight. So hey, by all means, it's always good to get a woman's insight. Yes.
Wow.
But oh boy, that's a tough question, boy. But I would tell you like this: you have to be mature, mentally, emotionally, and even have discernment. Let's just be nice and say spiritually before you go on today's dating apps. They don't hold no punches as to what you're exposed to and what you may interact with. And I will be honest, I mean, if you know that you lack in those 3 areas, online dating, in my opinion, is just not for you. I mean, there's so many people on there that are on these sites for their own benefit versus trying to establish any type of connection with you. And if you don't be careful, before you know it, you'll be engulfed within the foolishness and their traps. And so it's just so easy to get caught up in the web, by, first of all, everybody got their best picture up there. Sometimes people will have pictures from 20 years ago and they don't look like themselves. They 60 pounds heavier, or 40 pounds light or whatever, but it's so easy to get caught up with the physical part of it, the eye gate of it. And
Wow.
then, the stories that I hear about, the private pics that they may send in their messages, it's so easy to get caught up in that, to where if you're not able to be mature about how to handle that, I mean, you'll be distracted, and those methods will counteract what you came on there for. And so, if it's going to be trouble for you, just pretty much
Log out.
I mean, yeah, it is true. I've heard some stories. I've heard, some people, hey, they have met the one, and that's good. But that's all that's the few. That's not the many. And so, you know, um, you know, I can pretty much assure you that they had to get through a whole bunch of bad apples just to get to that good apple. And again, today's dating apps, and it's many of them out there. I once upon a time I've been on them, and so you have to be mature about this in so many ways, because what you're expecting out of online dating is not what you're going to get out of online dating. I
Yeah.
mean, I look at it, at the time, the reason why I logged off of it, because, people just had their representatives on there. Oh, I'm looking for a nice man who has their stuff together, who's a good man, who carries a conversation. Hey, how are you doing today? Good. Well, hey, what are you doing today? Working. And that is just such a turn off
Don't
to
worry
me,
about it.
because
Yeah, it's
I
okay.
hear women all the time,
You'll
and I'm not
pass.
bashing on women. Play that, don't put your pistols up, put your knives up. I am not bashing on women, but all I hear is, I want a man with conversation. A man has to bring the conversation. A man has, a man that if he can't give me no good conversation, he ain't, he can't get my attention. Hey, how are you doing? Well, I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing well. How was your day? Well, my day was good. I worked hard and I'm ready to get off. It's an open-ended question that leads to another open-ended question that creates the conversation. When you come with questions like good, okay, okay, sometimes the emojis,
I know, right?
to me, at that time when I was with that, that was just such a turnoff for me, because you're really up here showing your representative.
Wow.
And then at that time it's just the pictures. Here it is. I'm a Christian woman. Oh, I just love to see I'm a Christian woman. And then next thing they got their backside out. Oh, they scantily clad, to keep it Christian on here. Scantily clad.
They're scantily clad.
They're showing everything that God has blessed them with. But I'm a Christian woman, and I'm going to church every Sunday. I need me a godly man. And I'm sitting up here looking through this like, yeah, I mean, yeah, God created you with no clothes on, but let's look, again, let's use wisdom here. What do you think you are gonna attract when you put yourself out there like that?
Yeah.
And so, it was just such a turn off for me, because their representative was there. And then a few times that I did meet some people, oh my God, that was just horrible too. I'm thinking it's gonna be one thing, and it was just a waste of money and a waste of time and a waste of gas. And I mean, Kaiser Sose looking at his comment. Oh, Kaiser Sose. But again, it brings back to their representative. They want to be put in a good light, but when you see them in person, or when you see them, they're totally something different. And so what you may be looking for in the mate, hey, I'm looking for somebody this, I'm looking for somebody that, oh man, You know, ooh, he's 6'4", he's 240, ooh, she's 36, 24, 36. You know, you see them, but that's all you see until they open up their mouth or their mannerisms or how they conduct themselves. Now you stuck like Chuck. And so, you know, you have to be very mature mentally, emotionally. You have to use discernment. You have to keep yourself, you have to keep your eye gate, even your ear gate when you meet. You have to keep yourself aware of what's going on, or else you're going to get caught up in the foolishness. And it's easy to get caught up in it. I mean, we're all human. I'm a man. If somebody walks by and catches my eye, I'm going to do this. It's not going to be none of this, right? I'm going to look. It's just the human nature of a man. You know, the same way with women. But I mean, you have to understand that, you know, on these dating apps, that's all that they're putting themselves out there to be, is the physical. Then you have to fight through the mental part of it. You know, how do they talk? How do they conduct themselves? Can they tell you why the sky is blue? Can they tell you that 1 + 2 = 3? You know, and then even at today's time, you really have to ask the hard questions these days. Hey, do you have a job? Or do you have anybody? Are you a man? Are you a woman? You really have to ask hard questions like that these days, because, you know, I think somebody said it earlier, you know, online dating, what dating period is just not what it used to be. You know, and so, you know, if you're a Christian, you know, I'm not saying no, don't use it, but know what you're getting yourself into when you're getting onto these dating apps, because it's so easy to get yourself caught up, and then you're right back there at square one again. Or, well, that didn't work out, so I'm lonely. Well, I go to the bar again.
Yeah.
You know, when people say that they're Christians on their profile, I kind of side-eye them, because words say, I am the light, and the light will be shown in you. So you don't even got to say you're a Christian. So if somebody put it on that, like,
no. Oh, you would be amazed. Oh, you would be amazed. I'm a Christian, and every picture is a swimsuit pic. And every picture is I'm humped up or slumped over or laid. I mean, every picture is everything, and I'm seeing everything that God done blessed them with. But I'm a Christian, and I'm looking for a Christian man, or I'm looking for a good man. I'm looking for a man to take care of me, and you working a dollar store job part-time, and you know, you expecting me to come in and be that man. No, you know, that's why it's so important that if you're gonna do it, you know, like Leyland said, ask the hard questions. If they don't want to answer the hard questions, that should give you the answer you need right there. You know, all the way down to, hey, let me see some of your baby pics. There go mine right here. You know, you know, I mean, you know, again, ask the hard questions. Are you married? You know, hey, where do you live? You know, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, you say that you're an engineer. Well, where do you work at? You know, oh, okay, you know. Oh, you just trying to become a rapper? Oh, you know, just all types of things that gives you the red signs. Because as Christians, you know, as people, period, you know, we should be able to discern those red flags. Your stomach should bubble. You know, you should have the jitters when something doesn't sit right with what you identify to be right with.
Look, I totally agree with that. But Latanya said, "Are you a killer?" You know, that's a question you need to ask.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to say they ain't gonna tell us they're a killer. We're gonna have to do a background check online. So we're gonna have to go to MDLC and check. We're gonna have to check. Yeah, we're gonna have to check their profile. So
yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, because of course, you know, even asking the hard questions is like, you know, Lord Latanya, you know, we're just saying pretty much that you do have to ask the hard questions. I totally agree. So you know, I totally agree with that. Yeah, it's.
They could ask for Social Security number for a background check.
Well, back to Castle Soze, you know, is he speaking from experience on that Christian Mingle site that he was talking about?
They said go to a family reunion. I had a client that had a very awful experience deceived from the very beginning and led down the road of deception. She was scared for a long time. It can happen.
Yeah.
But some people are on there to deceive. That's it. And some people are on there for booty calls. Some
Yeah.
people are just on there, to get something from people. You really do have to be careful.
Yeah.
Some of them might not tell if they're married or have somebody. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings up the next question. Do you think dating is different for Christians? Because it seems like Christians are the ones that are being preyed upon. Prey, not Pray. Prey. Because there is a stigma out there that say we are the freakiest people. They even had it on Respect movie where they were talking about what James Brown was saying he had the most um, sex when he was on the gospel train, with you know, um, Aretha Franklin's father. They was all together, being on the bus and traveling, going on to speak at people's churches, and then have the choir singing and all that. They say that Christians are the most freakiest people, but at the same time, dating is different for us, even though there is a stigma out there about Christian, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all talk about asking the hard question. You even have to ask the question that may be embarrassing to some people, like, homosexual? Are you
Yeah.
bisexual?
Yeah.
Are you transgender? Are you you know
Mm-hmm.
you have to ask all those questions. Do you like certain things when it comes to sex? What type of you do? Those are
Yeah.
hard questions, but they may seem to be embarrassing to some people. But really, these are questions you need to ask. What do you do when you're at home by yourself? you know, because people are deceiving these days.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of evil going on in the world today too. So we cannot be walking around here like we're blind. But it is different. And y'all had touched bases on this as well about how dating is different for us because it's not like back in the day where a guy come and ask a girl, do you want to go out? They don't do that no more. They in my inbox. They on
Yeah.
Messenger. They come on there and say, "Hi, beautiful." I'm like, dude,
Blowing it up.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's
And then get mad
different.
when you don't respond.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So what do y'all think about dating these days? I'm gonna say that I'm very glad that I'm married. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. I ain't gotta go out there and be looking for nobody. Cause in these days and time, because it is really scary. I'm just gonna be honest.
It is.
That is true. Mm.
So what was the question again?
Do you think dating is different for Christians? Let me go back and pull it back up. Um,
Yeah.
Dating is different for Christians these days.
Yeah, it is. I believe it's different these days, but like I said, I hadn't dated since I don't even know. I mean, I don't even want to quote the year. But anyway, I mean, I do believe it's different. It's different these times, but these days, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is something that I say now to people, and I be like, well, do you want to meet my dad?
Hmm.
No, they don't want to do that.
No, 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 I don't. I mean, but then in order to meet me, you gonna have to at least shake his hand. Like, I mean, I'm just saying because I'm a bit old school, So I mean, it's you gonna. But my thing is, if you don't want to meet him, as far as shaking his hand, then you can't come. But like I said, it is different, in these days and times. So I mean, we can't. We do have to be careful. So now we have to be really, really careful because now they are, like you said, Tyler, they are in your inbox. They're not, we're not talking on the big hello phone anymore like we used to those 1980 phones. Is more so with modern day that people are in your inbox trying to find out your history and wanting to know about you, and everything like that. So it is,
Hmm.
to me, it is different.
So this
Yeah.
question is also tied in with the next question. So how can Christians meet other like-minded single, Christians, people that proclaim that they love the Lord, all those things? Because we do know that some people say that we are really talking about Christianity, but there are some people who proclaim that they are living the life of the Lord. you know, that Jesus Christ is their Savior and Lord, but they behave in certain ways. But we do have to do what the Bible says, try the Spirit by the Spirit. So, you know, you still got to do your job. You still got to do your job when it comes to dating. Let's just be honest. When the red flags come up, just go ahead and say, boo, bye. Just throw up your deuces and be gone. Don't sit there and be thinking, oh, just because they proclaiming that they love the Lord, that they are going to be this person who you think they're going to be, that they have the potential to be this person that you think they're going to be, or you think that you can change them because, boo, you're in the wrong field. That is your responsibility. You ain't supposed to be doing any of those things. You are not going to save them. Jesus Christ is going to save them. So let Jesus Christ save them. If there's the red flag there, just take off. Take off and keep moving. But how can you find people that are like-minded like you these days, do you think? That's just a question.
I can take this one. You can answer this in so many ways. The first one will definitely have to be, I go to an Apostolic Faith Church, and right now we're getting ready for our convocation. So our apostle tell us all the time, my single churchgoers, make sure y'all come to convocation so y'all can get y'all a husband. And he believes in finding your husband in the church that's equally yoked as you are. But sometimes you have to go beyond the Christian title, right? Because somebody can be a Christian and then somebody can have a relationship with Christ, which are totally two different things. And then somebody can be in the church, quote, but they're behaving in a certain way, or they don't know how to treat you in a certain way, or they just want to stay with, I'm the man, you're the woman, you just follow what I say and don't question me. And one, that's not the time that we're in anymore, and I will argue anybody down about that. And then two, women are not stronger, but women are at the same level field as men now, as we say, with jobs and other things. So definitely going to the church is very important just to see what's out there, but also, again, asking those hard questions to see what their perspectives on life is, and also seeing how they act outside of the church. Because some people can put on a good old face in the house of the Lord, and once they step out, you don't know what they plan in their car. You don't know where they're going to once they pull off their parking lot. So it's definitely important to see who they are outside of the church, and then definitely see who they are inside of the church. And then personally for me, I like to do Bible quizzes, because you say you know the word, I need to see if you know the word. So I be throwing out quotes and be like, where we going? Do you know what I'm talking about? And you have no idea. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go.
Wow.
Well, to go back to your first question, do you think dating is different from different for Christian people? Excuse me. No and yes. No, it's not different, because we're regular people just like anybody else. We should be able to communicate, what we desire, just like everybody else. We should be able to date with the intent to marry, just like others. So in that aspect, no. But yes, because that's a double-edged sword in my book, because as Christians, we have to be direct with our intentions and what we will allow and will not allow when it comes to dating. We just can't let anybody come into our world, our personal space, our homes, because we know what we possess in Christ. In Christ, yes, we are the light, but we just can't let anybody come in and dim that light, So, I mean, it's difficult for us because, just like Shauna said, just like Candy said, just like Tyra said, we have to do trial by fire. We have to, we have to incorporate, talking about God at the conversation to see where they're at. And then again, we have to look past that first initial meet as well. Hey, my name is Courtney. I'm a Christian. I go to Ultimate Life Church in Denton, Texas. Okay, yeah, that's good. Your name is Courtney. You go to Ultimate Life Church in Denton, Texas. But what do you do in your spare time? What do you do to study the word? What do you do? Do you spend time with God? What do you do when you spend time with God? Do you just wake up in the morning and say, thank you, God? Jesus wept. and he gave some money because Jesus died on the cross. Is that as much of the Bible as you know? Because they talk about that every Sunday. What are you doing to show yourself as a Christian so that I can identify with you to see what type of fruit that you bear? Because, if we are to identify as Christians, we have to understand the light that we carry in this world. And we have to understand that we have to have somebody that when our light starts getting dim, they are there to brighten that light right back up. Again, that's that yin to that yang. Because we're going to get heavy sometimes. Even Jesus got heavy, but he had people to give him that yin to his yang to keep him up. So, is dating different for Christian people? Yes, because we have to think about our light in that case. To go with your second question, how can Christians meet other like-minded single Christians? Ooh, that's a hard one because, going to church these days, everybody's not a Christian. Going to church these days just because somebody said hallelujah and Shauna said it best. I've seen it plenty of times. They get off in their car and then next thing they got 15s bumping in their trunk and they pulling off church ground. And this is women. This ain't men. This is women. And I'm looking at them like, but you just in there. Our God is an awesome God. He reigns. When now you're going out there and you're pulling off spinning wheels with 15s in your trunk. So, I mean, we have to be cognizant of, and I've been saying it all night, that representative, because we should be able, we shouldn't go in there. Oh, bless the Lord. Bless the Lord. My day was good. But we should be able to incorporate God somewhere in our conversation. Man, I'm just so blessed today because, I've been having an ailment here, and God has healed me. When I'm feeling good today, how's your day going? I just wasn't feeling good. And all of a sudden now, God blessed me to feel, we should be able to incorporate God, commonplace. It should just be commonplace conversation. And if you're not having commonplace conversation, that's an easy indicator to show the kind of fruit that they bear. Sometimes you have to 15-inch speakers in the trunk. So and a subwoofers in the trunk for Miss Sheila. So they was booming and banging. I with speakers in their trunk. But we have to be able to have that commonplace conversation, to see what type of fruit that they carry. And then sometimes it's just good to go outside of church. Because I understand, hey, church is where you're supposed to meet, but sometimes they're just not in your church location. But they may be at the bookstore you may want to go to. They may be at the park that you may go to, that you like running in. They may be at the gym. They may be at that spoken word, things like that. It's other avenues as well. And you will be amazed at how you can run into, Christian-minded individuals just by the conversation that they have, and they ain't even brought the word God in it. Again, you can see the light in people. You may not be able to see it brightly, but you can see if somebody has a light versus somebody who doesn't. Then, then all of a sudden, grocery store and the bread out. But and so wow.
Okay, when you see that person in the grocery store with the bread, do you go over there? Do you go over there and say, "Hey, how you doing today?" Sometimes people don't even want to speak. You see a guy that's on the bread in Walmart. Come on now.
Right.
Check your hand first now. Make sure there's no ring on there. You just say, "Good morning. How you doing today?"
Make sure he get the right bread.
Right. Yeah. You should be able to identify, the light. Again, your discernment should be like, I don't know about that.
If he got the wrong bread, then we ain't gonna be able to talk.
You know what, Candace? When it come to you, that man just need to talk to your daddy. He'll get all the answers about you from your daddy. He can't go wrong.
Oh my
You
God.
can't go wrong if he just bypass you and go straight to your daddy.
Oh, she said, "Huh? You said, can you reach this bread for me?" That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wow.
She said she just act like she buys some bread. How y'all supposed to know if you're not gonna say something? And sometimes women feel like they are not supposed to approach a man. How do you feel about that, Mr. Grace? Why we bringing that up? Because some people feel like we're not supposed to because the man is the one that's supposed to find a wife. Y'all
Man,
are the hunters,
let me
so
let
why
me
should I be the one to approach?
let me tell you my take on that. I really have a disdain with women saying the man is supposed to a husband finds the wife. And every time I come back with, but you have to give me something to find in. You have to give me you. It's an art in chasing a woman. It's an art in courting a woman. But that does not mean the man has to always approach the woman. Sometimes it can just be, hey, how you doing? Catch their eye, and you see them again, and then bam, that may be the conversation. Sometimes it may be the woman asking, hey, can you get that bread for me? And then y'all make eyes and go from there. Again, just using that as an example. But to come out and say that the man has to be the man to chase, give me a reason to chase you. Give me a reason to approach you with the intent of dating, going to courting, going to marriage, because that is the process of how things go. We just get all three of them out of line and confused these days. But give me a reason to chase you. Give me a reason to find you to be that good wife. And don't just sit there, well, I'm a good woman, and then you turn your nose up because I'm gonna look at you and be like, yeah, good and lying. And so, I mean, good at, but give the man a reason to chase. Sometimes that may be that icebreaker because, hey, I hear it all the time. Women are stuck up, men are stuck up. Break the stigma of being that stuck up person. Sometimes getting outside of your character, whether you're scared or not, may pay off to be dividends. And so, somebody else said, hey, just bring up the conversation about how high bread is or how high gas is. That's an excellent conversation starter right there. But just to say, a man is supposed to find me, I'm a good thing, I'm going to just keep looking at you and keep on going by, because in the art of chasing a woman through dating, courting, and marriage, that woman has to consistently give that man a reason to chase her. And the man has to do his part to chase her so that when he does catch and cleave to her, he knows the good thing that he has because she has gave him everything that he needed to see, oh man, I might need to go ahead and take this one right now because, man, shoot, man, the way she's been carrying herself and doing this and doing that, I can't let anybody else have that. I can't let anybody else get that. I got to have that for myself. But it starts with understanding once again how a woman is supposed to operate, once again how a man is supposed to operate.
All right, y'all. We got a whole bunch to say, but but y'all have to come back now tomorrow night and on Friday night now, okay?
Yeah.
We got one last question.
Yeah.
We finna wrap it up tonight now, because some of us gotta go to bed. So, but
Order
make sure you
tender,
come
huh?
on back tomorrow night and Friday night, because we still got a lot more to talk about. So this last question, what encouragement or what words of encouragement would you like to give someone being in the same position that you and Shauna find yourself in? Being single. What word of encouragement can you give females, Miss Shauna, or males? Because either one of you can give words of encouragement to a man or a woman.
You want to
I
take
take
this
this
one?
one. I take this one this time. I go against the grain. Look, just David said I sound like an expert. David, I done made so many mistakes in my life, man. You would have no idea. It's just trial by fire, learning from my mistakes, man. I done made so many mistakes, man. I could write 7 books off the mistakes that I made, my guy. But Hey, if that makes me an expert off learning from my mistakes, yeah, I'm a great expert then. But what type of encouragement? Hey man, enjoy life. That's the biggest thing that I can say for a person as a single person. Enjoy life. Travel, find things that I've been in the military for 23 years. I absolutely love traveling. I absolutely love going to different positions. I absolutely love the military, but I'm also a DJ. I absolutely love doing concerts, DJing, doing this place, that place. That's why I've done it for so long. I absolutely love playing in rec leagues. I mean, I'd be glad to step up and give anybody a J in any time on the basketball court. Enjoy life. Make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I've been transparent all night about pornography, about online dating. This is the time to make the mistakes and learn about yourself.
Right.
Find out if you're impatient. Find out if you're stubborn. Find out if you got road rage and traffic. What makes you tick. This is the time to identify what makes you tick so that you can better articulate that to the person that will be your spouse or the potential to be your spouse. This is the time to perfect who you are, because understand that your significant other is designed just for you. And so, I mean, you might as well get as close as to perfect as Jesus was, and this is the time to do it. I mean, don't look at it as, oh, I ain't got nobody. Man, I would love to have somebody. We all have those moments, but understand you need to look, beyond the tree to see the forest. And that's one of my mama's favorite sayings. You can't look, you have to look past the tree to see the forest. You have to look at the long-term picture. The long-term picture is, if you're desiring marriage, you're preparing yourself for marriage. I mean, does it get hard? Yes, it gets hard. I mean, Candace said it, Shauna said it, at one time Tyra said it, talking about Tinder, how she couldn't stay off Tinder. But I mean, it gets hard, but as a Christian, you have to understand that nothing is hard if you take it to God, and you truly take it to God, and you leave it there and understand that He has His best for you. I mean, one thing that I live upon is Deuteronomy 1:10 and 11. Read it for yourself. The second thing that I live upon that's everywhere for me is John 10 and 10, the first stanza on it. I mean, find things to stand upon within the word that can get you through those tough times. But this is the time to enjoy life. Travel, do this, do that, make your mistakes. If you're in the dating phase, date, but date with the understanding that, hey, you may get it wrong, or hey, they may not be that person for you. But understand that if they're not that person for you, that just means God has something better for you. That way, when they do come, you'll be like, man, I went through all that just to get this, and it's finally here. Well, man, it was worth it then. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Layla said, date with a purpose. Yes, date with the intent to marry. Set the guidelines and the rules. But overall, enjoy life. I mean, enjoy everything that you do, with the understanding that if you're doing everything right, like you're supposed to, seed time and harvest, God never forgets a seed sown. That's been my word all year long. That was spoken to me, that I've prayed upon, that God brought to me in my time. That God, this is the year of God never forgetting a seed sown. You have sown enough seeds of time, effort, things in your life, to where this is time for God to truly maturate the seeds in your life to give you everything you want in 2022. So you might as well enjoy it until the seed fully germinates for you to have that marriage, that wife. So enjoy life, make mistakes, go in God.
You definitely stole what I was gonna say, but whatever.
I go last the next time.
It's okay. I'll just piggyback off of you. When I went through my dark time in life, God spoke to me and He told me to embrace every season and plant a seed in every season. And He took that right out my mouth. So that's definitely an encouragement that I would say: just plant a seed and embrace every season that you're in, because a season does not last all Lord, I can't talk long tonight. The season does not last long at all. And you never know what you did in this season, what next season is going to look like. So
Yeah.
while you're in this lonely season, or if you're trying to get out of a bad relationship, what are you learning for yourself to prepare for what's about to come? You took everything else out my mouth, so I'm just going to leave it with that.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I do better
It's
next time.
okay.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback too, and I know we climaxing, but this is kind of what popped. What came to my mind is at the end of the day, when you find your purpose will find you.
Exactly.
And that's probably a motto. There is something that keeps me going every day. Is that I know for a fact that right now I'm being purposeful in this season. So one day, when that day comes, that purpose will find me. So I just want to encourage people, those that are watching, to keep operating in your purpose. Just to keep operating in your purpose, stay in your lane, do what you need to do to take care of you, and purpose will find you.
Yeah. That's
It is
good.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All righty, y'all.
Yeah.
So,
So
go ahead, Ken.
this has been a good dialogue tonight. I just want to publicly thank Shauna and CG for coming on. This has been in the works for months. So we're happy to see it come to pass. And I can say that I'm most grateful for the both of you. The both of you, CG and Shauna, you're a blessing to me. And you just continue to be a blessing to this world. So I'm going to turn it back over to Tyra before I start crying.
Yes, it was a wonderful night, and I enjoyed both of you. Y'all have gave some good feed on tonight. I mean, if somebody didn't grab it and plant it, baby, I don't know what's wrong with you because it was good. It was really good. Y'all have brought forth some good, profound, insightful encouragement words to everybody, whoever came on here tonight. And if you, whoever come back on here to replay, I hope that you all come back tomorrow evening as well at 7 p.m. so that we can talk about single and divorce or widowed, because people do get married and people do lose their spouse or they get a divorce. So that's how they become single again. So we want to have conversations about that as well. So come back on tomorrow night and as well as on Friday, because everybody will be on here Friday evening at 7 p.m. Um, Let me see what Mr. Davis said. I think you should stop being so quiet, bro. Speak more. He did very well tonight.
He did.
Yeah. Hey, David. Hey, man. Just hit me up in my inbox, man, if you want to talk. Court L Grace is my Facebook page, man. So hit me up on that. Hey, I'm here anytime, man. I'm a motivational speaker. I speak all the time, just about every day for my job. And so I mean, man, speaking just comes natural to me, man. But again, I wouldn't have been able to speak without the experiences that I've been in. So Court L Grace, just put an L right there, my name right there where you see it at, man. Find me on Facebook, my guy, add me. Whatever, man, and hey, everybody needs somebody to talk to. And I mean, I stay up late at night anyway. I'm just a night owl, hence these bags up under my eyes, but yeah, if I'm not working on music or preparing briefs or anything for the next day, man, just give me a little bit of time. I'll most definitely hit you up, man. Not a problem at all, my guy.
And speaking of that, Shauna, will you tell us how we can all reach you before we get off? Since CG just opened that door, Courtney just opened the door.
My bad.
Thank you.
Okay. You can follow me on Instagram. It is Shauna08. And if you want to follow me on my doctoral journey, it is the road _ to Dr. T, also on Instagram.
Yay. Okay. Well, thank you.
I won't plug my other platforms. I'm on all of them, but I'll plug Facebook. I will not plug my DJ stuff either, Candace.
Oh, that's all right. Because I'm listening. So. Yeah. Well, this has been a good night. Tyra, you want to go ahead and?
Oh no, I'm done.
Okay. Well, we most definitely want to thank you all for joining tonight. As Tyra stated earlier, we will be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. to talk about single divorcee, single widow. So that's going to be another good discussion as well. We have some amazing women coming on to join us tomorrow. So press the reminder button on my page and to make sure you get the reminder for tomorrow night. And thank you all for joining. Have a great night.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.